Affiliation from the Kingdom of Bahrain. Today, I will be very happy and pleased to share my presentation, which is my report of my study about creative and meaningful learning. Creative and meaningful learning. Sustainable development is one of the most important challenges in achieving in our curriculum in education. I would like to, at the very start of our, at the very beginning of our presentation, I would like to argue that future challenges for the world are in fact current educational dilemmas, meaning that if we want to participate, if we want to attend to future dilemmas, we have to attend to it now in current educational issues. One of the most challenges that we're going to face in the future is recording in progress. Yeah, one of the challenges. I just close this one. Yeah, one of the challenges that we're going to face in the future is sustainable development. Sustainability and creativity are very closely interlinked. How come? Sustainable development is talking about how we have limited remote resources in our world. And the way to stay alive is to use these resources creatively, or we found creative approach to use them, or we do these resources, we create innovative products out of it. The Industrial Revolution 4 and the need for sustainable development urged us to look for creative learning and redesign our educational programs. That is the talk that today I'm gonna take you on my journey. What is creativity? Creativity means generating or producing something useful, original, or novel. In talking about creative thinking skills, we have 4 main skills that should be developed in our students. The first one is fluency. Fluency means generating many ideas. The second one is flexibility, which is generating different ideas. It's now the focus of the different types, and having a different flexible mind. The third one is originality, which is producing unusual ideas. And the fourth one is elaboration, which is working on details and creating adding to the main idea by in small details, or sometimes they call it perfectionist, but it is needed for the product to work. Why I talked about this, I introduced this 4 thinking skills, because as I walk you through my model of creative and meaningful learning, we want to see together how we can redesign curriculum to use to come out to develop and foster these creative thinking skills. So fluency was many ideas, flexibility was different ideas, originality is unusual ideas, and elaboration is details, adding details. This is my model of creative and meaningful learning, Jamali MC model. It was published in London by 2022. What is the model? It's talking about the curriculum, whether it is in primary schools or KG 1 to 12, or whether it is at university. It has 2 features, 5 characteristics, mainly called constructive, Learning should be constructed to be creative and meaningful. Learning should be active. It should be intentional. It should be cooperative, and it should be authentic. In short, constructive means you are building upon what you have learned before. There's a study that said that what we do in the classroom is only 20% of it is new information and new skills. And we are building on our 80% that we had from before. A very interesting study, to be honest. So constructive is very important. We have to know about our learning, and it should build upon each other. It should be active, means that actively the students should actively participate. Whether it shouldn't be only theoretically. They should feel it by their heart and by their mind and by their physical. And the learning should be intentional, means we always set a goals in our learning. It could be as simple as making a smile on students' face, or it could be very goals of sustainable development, or for example, the country's vision 2030 or 2060. We have to put that goals. So we set it high for our students. That helps them to develop original ideas, to set outside the box and prepare for having something unusual. It should be cooperative. It's working as a team is essential for this. And it should be authentic. It should be related to real life. If it's not being used in real life, it's not going to stay in their mind. It's not going to develop the creative and meaningful learning. And I don't want to focus more on my model, but I want to do it and show you practically through what we have done in our school and how could we apply it in our school and curriculum. To do so, we used artificial intelligence. You just know how students love to use AI in the school. To do so, we used Arduino kits. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. As Arduino kits are having two parts: physical programming circuit board, we can see in the picture, and we have the software that runs on computers, and it uses version of C++ code. AI enables Arduino robots to collect information, to analyze data, to make inferences, and to act accordingly to deliver the best outcome. AI-driven robots are more competent than the ones without this technology, because I used to do it for my school. I used to do Lego robots. Lego robots was very interesting and different colors and shapes. And but the problem with that was not based on the internet. It was not AI. And you can see as Industrial Revolution 4, or one can feel it in our children that they seek for better technology, and they seek for artificial intelligence. So we moved to this Arduino. But how we can make this a creative and meaningful curriculum? That was the challenge. So we started for PBI, project-based learning, and we use AI, and we try to redesign our curriculum. So we try to put the characteristics of meaningful learning in it, creative and meaningful learning. And we're looking for all the creative thinking skills you can see here. In my study, I used the mix method.
Recording in progress.
I used mix method, and it was quantitative data came from an international exam of test of creativity called CAP, Creativity Assessment Package. And I used quantitative data, qualitative data, which came from observation of our students. Let's see what we came up in our school. As you can see, each project using AI, the project was involved. As I said, it has to be intentional. So it was all for one competition. It was some competitions were national, some competitions and contests were international, and we participated in all of that. The test, the CAP test, post-test and pre and post-test, the results from it indicates significant gains at the post-test in regards to fluency. We are looking for creative thinking skill of fluency, and it was about creating many ideas. So when they started to do this Arduino cat, Arduino robots, and they start to design and build an artificial intelligence garden, a Hajar AR garden, and they called it. We could see that the creative thinking of fluency being developed. For example, in this project, students explained how they built and programmed an Arduino kit to do numerous missions. And numerous means many ideas. Yes, it is. So they provide data regarding the soil pH, soil moisture, soil temperature, air temperature, humidity, and so on and so forth. And you can see how this supports the results from the pre-post test. AI in the form of a new design curriculum was effective in developing fluency. The second one, flexibility. Having a flexible mind, they will be able to combine different ideas. You can see how constructive building features itself very clearly here. As I mentioned earlier, I used to give them Lego video robots. These Lego robots, they are very interesting, and you can see they built two of them. And but they had one weakness, that they were running on Bluetooth and not internet. So what our students did, very interesting, they merged the robot, the Lego robot, with Arduino kit. If you can see the wires coming out, so some parts they started to merge it together. So we had robots building. We had robots who were built by Lego, but the sensor or the motor came from Arduino kits, and the wires you can see coming out of the this robots. I can, hopefully we have enough time, I can just explain over that. The machine you can see here, it was part of the AI garden. This machine is this simple car is to separate big dates from small dates. So they give order to the Arduino kit. It was like open, and they will raise the back of the car, and the small dates will come out that we didn't want them, and the big date will stay in the machine. Very interesting. The other one was, you can see in the big picture clearly, it was about artificial bee. It was an artificial bee who was distributing eggshell in the garden to raise the pH of the soil. Obviously, as you could expect, the results from pre-post test scores showed significant gains at the post test in favor of students who worked with AI in our study. Elaboration, adding details and detailed ideas to the main idea. In this project, we participated in Emirates competition. I like to take the opportunity to thank them, Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Very interesting. They have a future science challenge that they are doing it annually. And what we participated in it with our students did with a CAP. The CAP, you can see there are many components of this AI CAP. It had about 18 components. So you can see how ideas are coming one after each other, and they add to it, and a lot of sensors that they use that the ideas were so many, and the details was a lot that we had to use 2 boards of Arduino kit to be able the robots to work. The test, the pre-test, post-test, again showed significant increase in creative thinking skills of elaboration. In originality, here in this project, we participated in in another ministry, the Ministry of Youth competition, techno exhibition and competition. Here, very interesting. You can see the car seat. It's the baby car seat, and the students add the little stuff to this car seat. And what did this car seat do? Based on AI, it was able to analyze the baby cry. So babies crying, and there are many types of babies crying, where people who have babies, they know, they are familiar with it. If baby crying was what they called it, my students, they called it fear cry, means it was, I mean, if it was a burden cry, so it was out of burden, there was a music was playing, AI would play a music for the baby. And if it was a fear cry, you can see that it's a high-pitched cry. The program would analyze and see, analyze the baby cry. And if it was a very loud one, would move the gains for it. So it was really interesting, and although the competition was for youth and for university students, our students they just stand out, and they won their 5th place. I'm really proud of them for primary school. And so originality, as you can imagine, the pre-post test again show significant increase. I have to mention this, that originality is one of the most difficult skills. Having new ideas is not easy, especially for children, and even more difficult for adults. When I was doing Lego with robots, in Lego robots, I couldn't develop originality. So my research studies always showed that it didn't have a significant increase on originality. But AI was actually successful in developing originality. When I ask students how you came up with unusual ideas, a very noble one, and they said because of many sensors, it felt more real. It was easier to think of unusual ideas. Maybe Lego, they limit students' ability to do so. So yes, the last one is creative problem solving skills. Creative problem solving is when all the creative thinking skills in terms of fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration, they came together, and they give them a sense of solving problems creatively. This is part of the international magazine who pictured our students, and this is the cap. This is the cap. Yeah, I'm going to show it Yeah, you can see the sensors on the top of the cap. The sensor would allow the students would allow the people around, if they come close to the person who wear the cap, it would alarm them to keep the social distance. Actually, I tell you the story behind this cap. They built it, students, they built it for their classmates who had asthma problem. During Corona crisis, we noticed that children with asthma, they suffered a lot. So the students, that they were thinking about their classmates and said that we want to have a cap that helped them to accommodate in this time, difficult time. They put the distance, this sensor for distance, so it would alarm them, people around, to keep social distance. They record their own voice on it, and hear the little blue thing on the ear of the cap. Actually, this is a LCD screen. Who would, if they start coughing, it would show them, it would ask them to see the application on the phone. And the application on the phone would help them to locate the health center, the nearest health center, and to avoid crowded places. And the tube, I'm sure you can tell what is that about. The tube was, if they cough, they said, we are using the spray a lot and we feel uncomfortable. So what we did, they put the spray inside, and they said, if we cough, the AI would ask them, do you want spray? And they press a button and it would spray to them without taking too much attention from other people. Here is certificate we got. Our students, they earned it in the International Veterans Science Symposium as a result of their outstanding participation as young students. It's a very new one. It's 22 April 2023. And this, the Science Symposium is sponsored by NASA and GLOBE program. We were very happy to be part of this event. And this is the one that they had it because of the AI garden. The Science Symposium is about scientific research done by students, mostly secondary school students, but our primary schools and the children I'm working with, gifted students, they prove to everybody that they can do much better, and little by little, with a new designing curriculum, which is creative and meaningful, and we can do much more in education than anybody would expect. And this is the table, the results from the test. I use t-test with repeated measures. You can see that they were all significant. My recommendations, I would recommend policymakers and educators to provide opportunities for training in AI as part of continual professional development for teachers. I do recommend to fund larger scale and longitudinal studies to see the effects, and not being afraid of using AI and artificial intelligence in curriculum at primary school level and even in higher education and further education. Teaching AI requires instructors who are well trained because of the bugs in AI. So we have to be careful that this bugs doesn't demotivate, and the bugs do not demotivate the students. Here I would like to ask manufacturers or Arduino that reconsider their kits, designing their kit, and make it more educational friendly and easy to apply for educational purposes. Here are some of my books for references. You can they are all open access books. the last one, which is from the American magazine, People and Talented International. They're all new books about last year and this year. And thank you very much. And please, if you have any information, don't hesitate to contact me via my email account, 29jamali@gmail.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jamali, for an excellent presentation. I hope that participants have learned and benefited.